So my name is Sue Irons, class of '89, and I am the West Point Association of Graduates Veteran Services Specialist. And one of the things that has come up from this program that started a year ago is that we need to have some volunteers take an active role in veteran services. So today I have my colleague Dale Kurtz, class of '73 here, who is going to ask some questions about the VVSL, Volunteer Veteran Services Liaisons, and the Veteran Services Program, and hopefully answer any questions that you may have. So I'm going to turn it over to Dale, and he is going to start asking questions.
Thank you, Sue. It's great to see you this morning. So you talked about VVSLs and whatever, but let's talk about Veteran Services Support first, because that's new. And why did that get established?
So we have the Veteran Services Program actually was launched last year on Veterans Day, and it was the program was created because there was a need identified to support our graduates and their family members with veteran services. So first question is what is veteran services? And that is really anything pertaining to veteran benefits or anything that supports veterans. And so as we know, every West Point graduate is a veteran at some point in time, and they could potentially even be eligible for veteran benefits while on active duty. And so there was it was identified that there was so many graduates didn't know about their veteran benefits or how to access their benefits, and that we could do better by supporting our graduates within the association. So that's why the program was created. And so what our program is doing, though, is we are educating our graduates about their benefits and identifying what those benefits are, connecting them to resources to help them access those benefits, and then ultimately empowering them so they can go and apply for their benefits, help others, help their classmates, help their society members, help those that they've served with, even help other veterans in their communities to access their benefits as well. So that's the program in a nutshell.
That's great, because and I know that our graduates who are in service now or have recently been in service, they get much more information about their benefits as they leave the service. But as older folks, the 60s, 70s, and before, we got sort of a yep, okay, you're done, goodbye, and no information about what benefits were available to you. And so I think this is great that you're now leading this group to help all of our vets and grads.
Yes.
So what is this organization, VSS? How is it organized? Like, where are you in this AOG organization?
So it's veteran services. So this is a service that we are providing to our graduates and their family members. And so I am under the area of AOG called Alumni Support. And then under Alumni Support, you have your class services, you have career services, alumni services, and I fall under the alumni services area. And so I am working very closely with Amy Hagan and the rest of the team, and we are all working together. Amy's our leader, and in working with societies and shared interest groups and other areas within alumni support, as well as class services especially. But that's where I fall, or where our program falls under, is alumni services.
Oh, good. That's great. So you've mentioned this VVSL thing, the Volunteer Veteran Service Liaisons.
Yes.
Who are they? What are they? Why are they? Three questions. How's that?
That's okay. We're going to go. So who are they? So volunteer, that's the first V in VVSL. So these are individuals that have that are choosing to help either their society members or their classmates. And so this position has been identified as a need within societies and classes. And this is an individual that is currently working in the veteran services space, or they have been through the school of hard knocks of the VA and gone through applying for benefits, or have helped other people apply for benefits, and they understand the importance of assisting people and accessing their benefits. So that's who that person can be. Why we have VVSLs is because right now in our program, we have myself as the Veteran Services Specialist, and then we have you, my colleague, assisting and helping. And we are finding that as more and more grads find out about our program, that there's a lot of work that we need to do, and we both can't do it alone. And so we are feeling like let's let some society members and classmates help with that. And the reason why that's so important is who knows your area better than someone that's living in that area. I live in South Dakota. I don't know who you should go see if you live in Texas, for example, but somebody in a society that's in Texas, they are going to know who is a good resource, what VA facilities are there. They are going to be able to assist, better and give you better resources and suggestions and answer your questions better. And a classmate, who is better than a classmate than to know what your needs are? And it's a classmate, and we grip hands and we help each other. And so that's why that need has been identified, that let's all get in this together and work together to help each other. So I don't know, did I answer your questions? It seemed like I left one of them out.
I think you got the who, the what, the whys. I think you just covered. So I think we got it pretty well. But I do want to go back. You said who, and you talked about those of us as a former VSO, those of us who worked in veteran services or have experienced VA experiences. Do you have to be there, or will we pretty much take anybody and provide them some support?
Well, we will really, if you want to help, if you just say, well, I kind of know a little bit, but I'm not an expert, but I really want to help my classmates. I really want to help my society members. Yes, you can be a VVSL, and we will help support you in performing that or fulfilling that role. We have monthly training. We get together, all of the VVSLs, we have a monthly Zoom meeting, and we talk about perhaps new laws that are coming down from VA, or updated information, or what's working in your society. Maybe that could work in somebody else's society as far as suggestions. And then you and I are here for them at any time, so they can call or email us, and then we can help in any answer questions or whatever. So it's someone that wants to volunteer and help. And if you have that, if you're cut from that cloth, then you are the one that should be a VVSL.
Sounds good to me. So what do we expect the VVSL to do? I mean, are they going to file claims with the VA? Are they going to help somebody get a VA loan? What do they do?
No, they are not going to do that. So let's just say that up front, that is, you're not an accredited representative with the VA. But what you can do, and what you will do and should do, is after you have your VVSL meetings, any information that's passed during that, you can get that information disseminated to your class or society. That would be one thing. But if there is someone that's been identified as needing assistance with veteran services, you can reach out to them and get a better understanding of what is needed from them, and then help them find the resources that can assist them, whether that's finding a veteran service officer in their area or in your area, or if they have questions about a VA loan, for example, you could find out more information for them and explain the process. And if you don't know what that process is, then that's when you can reach out to you or me, and then we can explain that, or anything like that. But that is what is expected of you, is to be a conduit of information, and then help, if people have identified that they need assistance in accessing the information, you can point them in the right direction.
And I think that's a great point, Sue, because in the short time I've been working with you, I've been surprised, or a little, surprised is the right word, that some of our graduates really don't know how to operate through the VSO network. Now, I'm in Massachusetts, and we're different in that every city and town has a VSO, where you go to some states and it's pretty challenging to find a state-sponsored VSO. But there are also other organizations that have veteran service officers, aren't there?
Yes, there are, and that's where we can help, because again, like you said, I'm in South Dakota, you're in Massachusetts. Our systems are very different. What I found, I thought every state was like South Dakota, and I'm finding out, like you said, after talking to graduates, that it's not the same. So what we do is we are able to, you and I, and we can give this information to our graduates that, need the assistance. So we can do that, or a VDSL will have the tools to do this as well, is to find an accredited representative in their community. Again, like you said, it could be state, so local government, state or county, but it can also be through a veteran service organization. And these would be examples of that would be Wounded Warrior Project, Paralyzed Veterans of America, the American Legion, VFW, Disabled American Veterans. Organizations such as those have accredited VSOs. Typically, they are located at VA facilities, and then we can help our grads get in contact with them by finding that information, that contact information.
Good. So how many VDSLs are there today, and how many do you want?
It's a good question. So we want, I'll start with how many do we want first. So we want every class and every society to have a VDSL. Now,
160 some societies, aren't there? Something like that.
I think there's around 130, 140 societies. So there's that, and then we have a lot of classes that have, of our living graduates. So yes, that could potentially be a lot. And there are some societies that have actually signed up and they have more than one VDSL. And so, because they're a larger society and they've identified that, hey, this would be a good idea to have more than just one person. So really the number is unlimited, but we want minimally each society and each class to have a VDSL. So how many have signed up? We have over 60 that have expressed interest and have raised their hand to volunteer to be a VDSL. However, part of the process is having because this is a volunteer position, and because of some of the sensitivity of maybe some of the topics that could be discussed with a graduate or a family member, we have a memorandum of understanding that does need to be signed by the VDSL. So we don't quite have everybody signed up yet through that. And I'm going to take the blame for that, because I need to get that pushed out, which I haven't yet, but it's coming. So those of you that might watch this and say, well, I signed up, but I haven't heard back from Sue, you will. So, but the MOU is important because it just establishes that you understand that you're in a volunteer capacity with the West Point Association of Graduates, and that you also understand the importance of confidentiality in that role. And I think that's something that we really want to make sure that all graduates understand. If they reach out to a VDSL, that VDSL has said, I am going to keep any information that we have in our conversations confidential, and I respect privacy.
Well, you talked about that MOU, so you and I have just talked about that a little bit, and you've updated it. Could you share that with us?
Yeah, I am going to share that. Let me get this figured out here.
Don't you love it when somebody surprises you with a request when you're having these conversations?
Yes, I just love it. So let me, I need to go here, and then I'm going to share this. And then we're going to go to, so what I want to do, I'm starting, so are you seeing the Veteran Services page?
I see your screen.
Oh, yes. Good. So this is, I want to, before we get into the MOU, I want to talk about how do you get to the Veteran Services page, which is currently under construction. We are going to be making changes to it over time. However, it's a pretty good resource for a lot of information. So that is, and I'm going to show you where you find that. So this is on the Grads Helping Grads page. And so you would go to Veteran Services Resources and then select this, and then that takes you to our information here. Now, if you are interested in becoming a VVSL and you want to check out the MOU to find that, you would click here. And so we're going to go there, and here it is. So we have our MOU, and it should, when you click on that, it will look like this. And this gives a job description. Basically, it's what we just talked about in our interview here. And then, of course, we have the fine print of the MOU, and this is just explaining what I also just talked about as well. So understanding that, and once you said, yeah, that sounds good, then you can select, today's date or the date that you're going to sign it. And then if you, most people are providing a digital signature instead of printing out the form, signing it, and then scanning it, uploading it. But you can, if you select this, I will provide a digital signature, then you can just sign with your finger or sign with a mouse. And then once you have filled out all of the information here on the MOU, you will be, once you submit that, then I'll receive it, I approve it, and then you're added to my list, and you get emails from me, and you get Zoom links for meetings from me, and you and I can work together. So that's what happens after you sign the MOU. What's important here is that you designate whether you're supporting your society or class. We do have a VVSL that is doing both for both his society and his class, and that is completely fine. And then
that was a question I had, so thank you for answering it before I asked it.
Oh, good. I like that. And then, your contact information, and you need that. Basically, that's for me, so if I need to reach out to you, or if you need to reach out to a VVSL, we have that. And then the rest of it is, I want to point out too, do you give permission for graduates to contact you? That's kind of the purpose of your job. So you need to say yes here, because this is, you're a resource to them. So, if you were to select no, it's going to say, hey, you might want to think about that. We need you to, we need you to be accessible to your graduates. And so how you get your information to your constituents, so your constituents would be your society or your class, that's up to you. You're not going to be on a published list on the AOG website that says these are our VVSLs. It's you, how you want to let people know that you're either a society or a class VVSL. That will be up to your class leadership and your society leadership. So we are not disseminating that information, but you will need to be accessible to your constituents to help if they need your assistance.
Oh, good.
So did I answer that?
You did. Thank you.
Yes.
That was good.
Okay. Can you think of anything else with the MOU?
I think I like the MOU. I know
Okay.
you made some recent changes to it, and it looks really good, where you see what the description is, what you're asked to do, and then those details that have to be covered, because this is a very personal process that we go through. You and I, having both been VSOs, you get a lot of information about an individual, and it's so critical that we keep that private.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but it's a great job. It's very rewarding when you're able to help someone.
Oh, there's nothing better in knowing that you've helped, a veteran or a family member, and knowing that what you've helped them accomplish has changed lives too. And it's very rewarding, and it's what we do. Both you and I have been in this career field for many years. So I'm just glad that we get to help graduates now in this.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, what training is there? And as you were speaking, I'm thinking, okay, so what training do you need? Well, you have to become a psychologist. You have to become a social worker. You have to become an accountant. You have to become an investigator. You have to have some knowledge of medical. So I don't know if we can cover all of that training for a VVSL, but what can we do for training?
So what we can do is talk about a situation or a scenario, and that might be, if you as a VVSL encounter a scenario that's like wow, I don't know where to start with that. We can help you walk through that, but what you as the VVSL need to do, and this is very, very key and most important, is how can you get your grad, your veteran or family member to a veteran service officer that has those, wears all those hats, that has the training, that understands the VA forms and laws and so forth. So your role is going to be to really assist the grad in getting them to a VSO that can help them. And I like to emphasize, and if you've listened to any of my webinars, I emphasize that finding an accredited representative to help you is most important. There are a lot of businesses out there that say they will help, and they do help, but you have to pay them money, and most of them are not accredited with the VA. So an accredited representative would be like we talked about, those state and county and city VSOs, and also the ones that work for the veteran service organizations, because those entities provide oversight for them, and they also are ensuring that they're getting continuing education, and they are accredited through the VA. And so that's important. And they, because they're employed, that's their employers paying them the money, not you as the veteran. So right. Again, you don't have to pay to have somebody help you with your benefits. So that's what the biggest thing. But you as the VVSL need to know who are the good VSOs out in your communities, or and we can help with that. But you may know because you live in a community and you've heard and you know who's good and who isn't. Just like with any profession, there are good people that are, they know their stuff, and then there are other ones that might not. So that's what your job is as a VVSL.
Absolutely. So I have one other question I'll ask a little bit later. So this question is, what have I not asked you that you want to share?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of probably talked more than I should have. So I think I've covered everything I would want to say about the VVSL position. I will say one thing is just it can, and we touched on this, how rewarding it can be to help, and what it means to somebody that you do provide assistance to. Even just knowing that, hey, they're not alone in going through the process, that is so meaningful to everybody. And what this will do, it will make your societies closer, by, hey, we can, instead of just having a Founders Day, we can do other things too. I mean, I don't need to, I'm not meaning to downgrade Founders Day by any means, but this is, we can help each other. And I always say grads are really smart people. They just need the information, and then they can go out and do great things with that. And again, that's that empowerment, so once you've helped a graduate understand their benefits, that person is also going to go out and help others too. And that will be within your classes and societies. It will strengthen our connections. And that's really what we want, right? We're the long gray line. So absolutely. I want to stay connected.
So that last question I had, do you think someday we may have a special interest group for VVSLs?
Wouldn't that be nice? Where we can all just be together and be recognized for our specialty that we have. I think, that would be something that we could probably look at. So as shared interest groups are increasing within our alumni network, that's very possible, I think.
I think that would be great. Well, Sue, thank you for spending the time today.
Yes.
This has been really good. It's been good for me. So hopefully people who've been able to listen to this will take a look at that MOU, sign it, and get it into you so that we can increase our numbers.
I think that would be great if we can do that. And it's been great to talk with you today, Dale. And it's, as always, great to work with you. And I'm looking forward to working with our network of VVSLs to strengthen that connection that we already have.
Well, thank you.